we connected? Are we connected?
That is the true question.
Are we live? Are we live? Alright, we're trying this a little different, guys, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, but, I think it already started the live here. Maybe. Anybody got audio or video on us? All I'm seeing is blank right now. Let's see. Okay,
I mean, I can see us on YouTube.
You can see us on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, it is not showing me. But we are live?
Yeah, we're live. I can see you and me.
Well, guys, alright.
All right.
Hell yeah, we are live. By God, we are. What's up,
Okay,
everybody?
you guys.
Gotta
How
love
y'all
our
doing?
antics of trying to get our shit together in life, huh?
Totally.
It's like, man, I wish there was a way you could go like live on YouTube, like a dry run session. Like there's easier way to kind of actually test the live stream. Because otherwise, until you kick it off, you know. Never know
And
what
if somebody
you're getting.
knows how to do that, please let us know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be on YouTube too. But yes, if y'all know, please let us know. But what's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Smoke-N-Sass here. Yeah, I'm sure all of y'all already know which one is which, if you've watched at least one episode of ours. Georgia, what's going on, man? Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, Georgia.
Heck yeah, man. Heck
Hey, I
yeah.
know you had some plans today, and we're excited for you. Everything else. So,
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Alright, guys, so I gotta ask, how was y'all's first week with Creeker 3? Because for me, that was a badass week, man. I fucking cranked that shit. It was badass, man. I know Stephanie's out there. I know she's been jamming to it.
yeah, totally. She's been jamming to it. Um, what I've been doing is I've been listening to it every day with my like morning routine, all that good stuff.
Heck yeah. And
Yeah.
it definitely is motivational, man. Gets you pumping, man. Like,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Let's get the
100%.
blood flowing. Let's do something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I am fucking around here trying to
So,
do something
he did
different
not
here.
really do a true introduction. If y'all are new on here, um, my name is on social media Death Kitty. I am known as Sass on the Smoke-N-Sass cast. That right there is Stoner Man. That is what he goes by on his YouTube channel. But on the Smoke-N-Sass cast, of course, he's Smoke. So I want to give a little quick introduction if you're new. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of good stuff like Starman was talking about. We're talking about music. We're going to be talking about the frequencies. We're going to talk about hertz. We're going to be talking about Nephilim. Yes, I'm going there. I'm going there. So y'all be ready for it. And if you are on right now, if you get a second, hit that like button. Try to push us up in the algorithm because the algorithm hates Stoner Man. They hate him with a passion. YouTube
It's not
hates
just me
him with
though.
a passion.
It's not just
No,
me
it's
though,
not just
man.
you. No,
You can't make it sound like, oh, it's just me.
no,
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 dude,
no,
everybody's getting fucking shit on by the
no.
algorithm.
Exactly. So help a brother out.
Seriously, guys, tonight, there's it's more than just, a usual whatever, as far as like us kind of picking a right timing or just going with that serendipity of like now's the right time to hit this one topic, because we just kind of flow by the seat of our pants, man, and half the time we're like, all right, we gotta think of something. Have all the shit we could bring up. What should we bring up? And sometimes it just hits us when we stop thinking about it, and that's what we go with. So really, we
Right.
don't do a whole lot. Well, I don't do a whole lot playing. Kitty does, but I think Kitty was actually the one who was like, "Hey, now's the time to do this episode," and it is really
Mhm.
fitting with Creeker 3 coming out, man. And this
Oh,
is,
yes.
and everyone out there, like, this is something big, so big to me, and something that I am so, like, overly, like, just pumped about, man. And we'll go into that a little bit too, but.
Mm.
So, let's see. George said, appreciate y'all. Not much, just chilling, man. I've been blasting that shit working. Fuck
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Sass for a reason. If you're new, nah, just kidding. Much love, y'all. Oh no, she's
So,
definitely sass for a reason, man. Anybody out there hasn't watched her, go watch her. Go to Death Kitty's page on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and just listen to her. Like, I give you 2 videos before you hear it, and you're like, oh yeah, she is on one. She ain't taking no shit from nobody.
I did the whole head thing and everything. And as sassy as I am in videos, you guys, like, I'm just as sassy in real life, if not more so. My husband can testify to that, instead of being right here. Yeah, he gets nothing but sass. He says I'm even sassy when I sleep. I don't even know how that
She
happens, but
is. She is. You will talk mad shit when you're asleep.
even
Just
when I don't
saying.
talk, you say I'm sassy. I'm like, how's that possible?
Body language, dude. Body language.
Uh-uh.
Uh, seriously, man. Like, you can just tell, like, the way you, like, flip over and, like, your hair just, like, and you're, like, doing the hair thing, like, because it's all, like, tangled up on the end. You're like,
Dude, okay, you guys. So my hair, I usually have pretty long hair. And there for years, I had my hair was down past my bottom. You remember that? It was like to my mid thigh.
oh, yeah.
You remember that? And this man right here, he likes to sleep next to me, but then he gets kind of violent in bed. Like he cannot stay in one spot. He is a violent sleeper. Like I don't know how many times he has kicked me off the bed, or he has
Hey, I
accidentally.
got to work. I got to
Hey, you
work.
got it to work!
Sorry.
Hell yeah! That's an achievement, you guys. Sorry, this is the first time we've been able to do that. That's awesome. Hell yeah, baby!
Fuck yeah.
Or he's accidentally like slapped me or whatever, kicked me, whatever, right? So, um, I had this really long hair, and I used to try to like braid it to go to bed to where it'd stay on one side, and then somehow my braid it wouldn't be to the side anymore. It would like get behind me or something. So if he'd roll next to me, then he'd roll himself up in it, and then every time he'd move, I'd be like, you know, yeah. Anyway.
Totally, totally.
Hmm.
I'm just fucking with the chat over here. I'm gonna stop doing that. But hey, we can highlight comments now. We are like
Hell yeah.
halfway, kind of, sort of, not really professional and shit.
Hmm.
Oh shit. Georgia said, if you're new, welcome to the channel. Glad to have y'all. I'm Georgia Redneck, an independent artist. Y'all be sure to subscribe to Stoner Man. Hashtag Creek Squad. Fuck yeah, man.
Heck yeah. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right. So if you're
Alright.
also new to the chat, my husband keeps on talking about an album that was released called Creeker 3. If you're new and you don't know what that is, just type in Krieger 3 in Google or whatever, or look at Ryan Upchurch. That is his new album. It's with Ryan Upchurch and the Dixielanders. And if you like Southern rock, if you like metal, if you like country, because there's a little bit of country in there too, check it out. It is amazing. And Ryan is also an independent artist, just like Georgia. We try to support a lot of independents over here. So,
Oh,
yeah, I like
absolutely.
that. Leave that one up. There we go.
You like that one better? Or you like the
Yeah,
last
I
one
like
better?
that. I like that. Let's get into the topic, though.
That one.
You're getting distracted.
No, no. I wanna be able to highlight these comments well and make sure like do our people some justice here, man. So
Let us know how that looks in the chat, you guys, that y'all
heck
can
yeah,
read it. Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
But yes, we do appreciate you, Georgia.
And
Man,
Georgia
you're
just had a new release too, did he not? We have not been able to listen to it yet, Georgia. We apologize.
I don't know, dude stays busy, man.
Yeah.
He's always got something coming out, seems like, so. But hey, man,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. I mean, people with that much to say, man, that's awesome. But
Heck
yes,
yeah.
anybody new, we do support independent artists. We will be talking about some mainstream artists in this episode, as we do time to time. Nothing wrong with mainstream artists, man, when they are just those who are stuck in the system, man, and stuck with that contract, that big fuck you, I own you contract, man, and there are some that are they want better, man. They don't want to be a part of that shit, and when their time's up, they're fucking out, but we all know labels do their best to make sure there is no getting out, so. But some of those artists, man, there's a few out there I really have a lot of respect for. It seems like they've always kind of stayed true and really do have like good fucking music. So, but one of those in particular, Tool. We will be talking about Tool tonight as well. But this is all about frequencies, vibrations, and all that, and how this all ties together in within music. Um, Georgia said Wikipedia, not the one y'all made for me. I tried to set up one through Google, and they said I wasn't a big enough name. Man, you shouldn't need to use Google. Man, you should be able to go straight on Wikipedia. But shit, man, I'll see if I can make one, and then you can just sign up for an account on Wikipedia, and I'll see if I can make the page and get it going for you, and then you can jump in and add your stuff on there, man, and we can help out. Take some stuff from Shodo and throw it over there. Anybody who has not checked
Mm-hmm.
out Shodo, please, man, if you guys want to help support these independent artists, check them out on Shodo. You can find out a lot more about them, kind of where they're from, what they're about, their discography, all that good stuff, man. Shodo.sbs.
Right. And you know what? We also do upload new music. So whenever they have a new release, we add it to the playlist on YouTube because that's the only way we were able to do it so far. Feel free to check that out. We haven't updated in a while. If you have any suggestions, message us on Instagram. We would gladly hear you out.
Heck yeah. All right, you ready to get into it, Kitty?
Let's freaking go.
Hell yeah. All right, so I'm gonna start this off. Let me whip out that handy dandy screen share here. Does anyone know what a solfeggio, I believe that's how it says solfeggio frequency is? Kitty, we've talked about this. Do you kind of remember what the solfeggio was?
Vaguely, vaguely. I would like for you to go into this a little bit more, though.
So basically, the solfeggio frequencies are like it's like a sacred healing frequencies. Like there's certain ones that are beneficial. And what's weird, I don't remember quite all the history, but I think they started out with like 5, and then they come up with 7. There's like different numbers. I think there's 5, 7, and 9, even like a 13 or something, depending on what like version, iteration, you're looking at. But I think the most common is 7, which kind of matches up with the chakras. So let's get this image up here if we can. Videos, images. Come on. Are we getting there? Not really. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm going to try to find the image. But, so, Kitty, do you want to go into these 7 chakras while I get this image going?
Sure, I can. Hold on. I do not have them memorized. Shame on me. But then again, I've never been a chick that's really into yoga. So, but I'll go over it real quick. The 7 chakras are energy centers within the body. Of course, they're believed to be vital to emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. Let's see here. Now, the 7 are, this is what makes up the 7. The root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakras. Now, if we break that down, the root chakra, that's located at the base of the spine. It's associated with grounding, survival, security. The sacral chakra, it's located in the lower abdomen and it's linked to creativity, pleasure, emotional well-being. The solar plexus, it is situated in the upper abdomen and it's connected to personal power, confidence, and self-esteem. Heart chakra, located in the chest, associated with love, compassion, and forgiveness. Throat chakra, situated in the throat, it's related to communication, self-expression, and truth. Third eye, located between the eyebrows, associated with intuition, insight, and spiritual awareness. And the crown chakra, it's located at the top of the head, connected to the spiritual connection, enlightenment, and higher consciousness. And this is all right here, like what AI will feed you whenever you type it in. So if y'all want to look that over, feel free.
Heck yeah.
And actually,
All
by
right.
the way, real quick, Georgia Redneck did let us know that that was actually an album. I'm going to put a link to that in the comments on this live chat. But go ahead, Ben.
Heck yeah. So what are the solfeggio frequencies? Solfeggio frequencies are sonic tones used in healing modalities to stimulate the brain and improve physical, mental, and emotional health through sound vibration. There are 7 main frequencies that correlate to the 7 energy centers of the body, or the chakras. The Schumann resonance is the electromagnetic frequency that resonates between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere, which is where the Earth's atmosphere meets space. It is also known as the Earth's heartbeat. These vibrations are all around us. They also happen to match 5 of the brain wave states that we experience in a 24-hour cycle: delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma. Overproduction or underproduction of any of these brain waves can wreak havoc on the mind and body. Listening to solfeggio frequencies helps to stimulate and balance these brainwave patterns, but also has the power to elicit a very powerful physical or mental response. When you listen to solfeggio frequencies in the range of the 7 chakras, you stimulate healing or unblocking of certain energy centers of the body. This can have many beneficial effects, including the release of subconscious trauma. So, very, very powerful stuff here with sound, with frequencies. Everyone remembers what a frequency is, right? To measure a frequency, say in hertz, is measuring the wave, how fast that wave is moving.
Mm-hmm.
So, the chakras are the 7 main energy centers of the body. This is all stuff you kind of went over here. So let's break down which of the 7 frequencies there are. So 396 hertz is the root, stimulates the root chakra. So this can be, like you said, associated with survival, safety, and security. It will help to stimulate part of the subconscious brain that is associated with this blockage and help to unearth negative belief systems and feelings residing deep in the subconscious mind. When your root chakra is unblocked, you should feel secure, connected to your body, and grounded. So that right there, and like, what's up, Razor Ricky? What's going
Hey,
on,
Razor
man?
Ricky.
So that right there, good, like it's a good name for it, the root chakra, because it is the, kind of that core, most simple, most basic chakra that you would want to unblock so that you could actually, you know, feel okay and feel secure and be able to focus and go higher to different levels of those different chakras, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the sacral chakra, 417 hertz, located between the navel and relates to sexuality, creativity, intimacy, and pleasure. If you feel sexual repression, lack of creativity, or intimacy issues, or you're someone who emotionally isolates yourself, then you'd be someone who needs to work on their sacral chakra. So, in other words, you don't need a little blue pill, right?
Right. And all of
Nah,
this
just
stuff
kidding.
is more
This is not a deeper
Eastern.
level than that.
And all
What
of
were you
this stuff
thinking?
is more all of this stuff is more Eastern. Like these thoughts, I mean, they've been around for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. I mean, we're talking about the chakras that's been around for thousands of years. And what they each do and represent and everything else. And that's such a difference between Western and Eastern right there. I mean, Western, they'll give you a
Oh yeah.
pill. Eastern, they tell you to work through it.
Oh yeah. And
Mm.
I even know a guy who has been to like Asia and all over the world, like all different parts of Asia and everything. And he's like, medicine is so much different over there because you actually go to like a medical shop and they have like all these like tonics and like powders and it's all like organic, like plant and animal based stuff, but like it's not pharmaceuticals. And he's like, and that's the other thing is their mentality about it. He's like, it's actually they're more about preventative, and we're more like about tackling the problem once it occurs. They're more like, hey, do this and you won't ever have these problems to begin with. I mean, not saying, of course, they do have medicine for when you do have a current ailment, but
Right. And it's kind of funny how we don't have that mentality whatsoever over here in the Western
and
countries. And
dude,
that's not a dog on America. I love this country. Don't get me wrong, like everything. But I do believe there are ways that we can improve ourselves. Each one of us can improve ourselves. And a lot of that goes to health. And actually, I'm going to tie this in a little bit with what you're talking about here, but later. So,
yeah, and that's the thing is, it's the pharmaceutical companies are out of control, man. The government all has their hand in it, and you know, the fear of the mandated vaccines for fucking anything, you know, dude. We, if you do in America have that like holistic like practice of medicine, even if it's like preventative kind of deal, like people look at you like you're crazy. And what, like, say you go buy, let's think of some like common herbal supplement, valerian root, say valerian root. If you go by that, what does it say? FDA is not approved, blah blah blah. There, was the FDA, has not run trials on this medicine, cannot, vouch for the effects of it and all that shit. And like, yeah, they're I can't remember the exact verbiage, but they're not saying like, yeah, this doesn't work, but they're still instilling that little seed of doubt into people's brains as to well, the FDA hasn't approved this, and they don't state that it works. So even though they're not saying it doesn't work, they're not putting their seal of approval on it. So it's putting that little subconscious, little seed in your brain. This isn't gonna work. And you may say, well, that's not all that big of a deal. But I mean, look at the placebo effect. If you're already got just a little subconscious thought, this isn't gonna work, you're already deciding the outcome with your mind.
Right. That's true. Georgia brought up here's how they control 100%. You need to put that up on the
Yep.
screen.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, that's for real. They they want us so pumped with shit, man, and that's what's scary, man. They want us. They're willing to mandate it and make it law and make it harmful to us if we don't. Like, that's what's fucking ridiculous about it. Sorry, I'm getting. Yeah, I want to make sure you don't get cut off the screen here. There you go. All right, so the solar plexus chakra, 528 hertz. So this is located below the chest and above the navel. It is the center of self-esteem, confidence, and personal identity. Anyone who is struggling to live authentically, has control issues, manipulative tendencies, or low self-esteem would be said to have a blocked solar plexus chakra. Well, damn, does that not sound like a lot of fucking people right there?
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, like and I'm not just talking about the other side, the snake pit motherfuckers. Like, even just day to day, man, I know so many people don't have not just self esteem but even confidence. Like, nobody makes a confident move in life anymore. Like, I watch these people on the road, man. They will come up to an intersection where they have the right of way. They will come to a full stop. I mean, we're talking like dead end right here. There, it's basically nobody fucking coming from that direction ever. And you got right here where you can see clear, like, an eighth of a fucking mile if anyone's coming. And they will come to a stop and they'll be like so skittish. Like, or even at a stop sign, they'll be stopped there looking, 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 looking. Go. You see it's clear, just go. Then they ease along, Like, people in the store, man, like, you come around the corner of an aisle, and like you almost run into somebody. It's like, okay, your kind of instinct is be polite, back off for a second. Hey, say, hey, sorry, man, go ahead, whatever. Whoever kind of has the easiest route kind of gets to go first, with exceptions like the elderly. Hey, no, you go first, you go first. But man, people, like, you just run into somebody and they're just like so unsure. They're like, hey man, it's okay. Go ahead. Come on, go. I'm letting you go. Are you sure? Are you sure? Go. Come on, man. Like, people don't move confidently. Like, nobody is like sure of themselves, and it's like, dude, that's the thing, man. Like, you can't doubt every action you take throughout the day, man. Even if, say, you're repairing something at work and you're like, I'm not 100% sure about this. This is a little bit new to me. Use your common sense, make action, take action, do it confidently. Say, hey, this is with what I know, taking my experience, what I know, and common sense and logic and all that, putting it together, this is the right move to make. I'm gonna go for it. Let's do it. Boom. If you don't own up, like, it doesn't work, own up to it. Say, hey, that was wrong. Let me try this instead. Move with confidence, man. When you walk, move with confidence. Like, I'm not saying throw your chest out, be walking ready, to like looking like you're ready to throw down with whoever looks at you wrong, but just walk confidently, man. Like, hold your chin up, hold your spine up, your chest strong, man. Like, walk with a purpose, walk with that confidence, man. And like,
Exactly.
it's not just for yourself, but you will notice the change in people around you, how they react to you,
Hmm.
man. Like
Absolutely.
that energy will almost rub off on people, man. You know,
Hmm.
and like I feel like everyone will stop being so damn twitchy, man. People are twitchy. Like,
Why are
oh,
you
what do
so
I do? I
twitchy?
do. Like, I know I'm starting to sound like Red Foreman here. Why are you so damn twitchy? So the heart chakra is 639 hertz, located, of course, in the center of the chest, is associated with love, forgiveness, and compassion. This is another one that's blocked a lot. And I do believe that this includes, when it's speaking of love, it also includes agape, not just romantic love, because we already know that that is going to be the sacral chakra. That's relating to intimacy and pleasure. So this is a more pure version of love, such as agape.
Right.
Forgiveness, compassion, compassion for your fellow man, you know. If you're someone who is distrustful, unable to receive love, or has difficulty maintaining relationships, then you should stimulate your heart chakra. And notice right there, it says relationships. It doesn't say romantic relationships. It doesn't say, like, you know, occupational relationships. It just says relationships in general. So remember, I mean, this could be even something like you struggle making friends or something. You know,
So,
or
and
maybe
real,
you're lacking some sort of compassion or capability of love. What are you gonna say, Kitty?
sorry, I wasn't trying to talk over you. I thought
Oh, you're good.
you were done. Real quick question. I know the hertz that's next to there is that what it's recommending to stimulate that chakra?
That's basically the,
The
I
hertz.
guess you would call it like the prime frequency.
Okay, so it
So
would be
that would,
something to
yeah,
you know.
because I mean
Okay.
you gotta think when you're measuring a frequency, it's not just the speed of it, like the distance between, because you know it's up and down. Like imagine like what do you call it, EKG, you know, instead of it being such a sharp spike, it's more curved, but it's doing
Yeah.
this like a snake. And you're measuring not just the distance between each one of those waves, but you're also measuring the peak of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when everything in the world is vibrating, looking at string theory, if everything in the world at the core level is vibrating, these vibrations can affect something else. I mean, say, you know, put a bunch of little stones, small little pebbles on a piece of wood, and then take like a belt sander and hold to that piece of wood. You're now vibrating that piece of wood, and what is that doing? That's vibrating the rocks, makes them all the pebbles. They're popping all over the place and moving and all that. So right there, vibration is transferable. So
Right.
why is it so hard to believe that that would be on a more cosmic level? Vibrations coming through, hitting your body, you know, from all around, radio waves, you know, cell towers, whatever. That's not vibrating your core molecules in a certain way and causing
Oh,
things to change. Because if all strings are, what changes, kind of what they form, is how they vibrate and the speed and all of that. You're
right.
basically changing what those strings make up, if you really want to kind of simplify it. Anyway, I know that was kind of far off from what you were asking, but I went on a tangent there.
Not you, baby.
I
Never.
know, never, never. So, next one is the throat chakra, 741 hertz. So, located at the center of the neck and is your expression center. If you're someone who is shy, has difficulty expressing themselves, or is arrogant, then you're showing signs of a blocked throat chakra. So, it says that once you've opened it, you'll speak truth, express yourself clearly, and listen to your intuition. So, it's so if you look at that, Kitty, like, do you see two meanings to that? I'll read it again. Once you've opened your throat chakra, you'll speak your truth, express yourself clearly, and listen to your intuition. Do you see the double meaning there? You can take it verbatim, of course.
Right.
But also, when it says you'll speak your truth, people may think, okay, well, you'll speak honestly. But what if it's you will speak your truth, as in you will speak what happens next? Sort of like the true
Right.
teachings of Jesus. You speak when when it says ask and you shall receive. It's not so much asking; it's more stating this is what will be. So
Right.
you will express yourself clearly,
Hmm.
expressing clearly what will become, what will happen next. And you'll
Right.
listen to your intuition. Well, if you're creating and manifesting your future and what comes next, then you'll already know what is coming next.
Right.
That's
I
how I take
mean,
it.
yeah, yeah, I could take it that way. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but that just kind of flew all over my head. You had to read it twice. I was still like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Like, it all makes sense, but I don't understand what you're trying to get at. So sorry about that, babe.
No, you're good. You're good. And that's the thing, it's about looking from the different angles.
Well, maybe my throat chakra needs work. Maybe that's why.
Hey, we all need work on our chakras. So the next would be the third eye chakra. Of course, a lot of people know what the third eye is. 852 hertz. It is located between the eyebrows. It is connected to intuitive ability, consciousness, and wisdom. Signs of a blocked third eye chakra are lack of direction, confusion, and doubt. When you listen to the solfeggio frequency 852 hertz, you will work toward becoming more intuitive, open, and imaginative. You will only be ready to work on your third eye chakra when the first five have been unblocked. So, right there, of course, saying this isn't exact science, but, you know, like, if that is true, it really shows, like I was saying earlier with the root chakra, you have to, like, start there. That's where you have to start, is at the roots. And build your way up, ascend to those higher levels.
Hmm.
So, let's go back and look at the third,
So, real
the
quick
solar
question for the chat.
plexus.
Real quick question for the chat. Do y'all know what frequency music is usually, I guess, what they usually use, what frequency they usually use?
Yeah, what
If you
they're
know it, put
tuning
it in
to.
the chat.
So the third is the solar plexus chakra. So if you say that we are third dimensional, maybe that means we're say for argument's sake, that means we're only working off of three open chakras. So if that is the case, solar plexus chakra is the center of self-esteem, confidence, and personal identity. What do you see being damned and attacked the most right now? That I would say it would be that one right there, that chakra. It's almost
The
like they're
solar
trying to.
plexus, right? The one
Mm-hmm.
with confidence. I agree,
Yeah.
but I also say it could be intermittent, and it depends on if you're a kid or not.
But the heart chakra, you gotta think if you kind of think about it, that's already been kind of shot for a while.
Right.
So we're working so hard to ascend, and maybe we've been descending for a very long time now.
Hmm.
Which would mean that after this one is conquered and eliminated, then we'll be operating two dimensionally or on the second chakra, which is all
Hmm.
about our sexuality, creativity, intimacy, and pleasure. That's being
Hmm.
attacked too. But to really win
Exactly.
that one, they have to defeat the third chakra. So as long as people have that personal identity, they can still fight the control over their second chakra. But
And
if you,
that's interesting because the story you told me, and there's something I was like, that's totally unheard of. That um, this girl going back to this boy, you know,
yeah,
and like I'm like, why are women today doing that? Why are they doing that? Whenever like, did they realize like this is like dangerous? Like anyway, that kind of makes
yeah,
sense with that. If you want to go into it, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything more than
yeah,
that because I didn't talk to this person. So
yeah. We'll go into it here in a little bit. So if that is the case, then of course, when they got down to brass tacks, it would be the root chakra would be last to take, which fearful, anxiousness associated with survival, safety, and security, grounding us. Negative belief systems and feelings residing in our subconscious mind. After that, we have no connection left if they corrupt that root chakra, that final one. So if we come back up here to the crown chakra, 963 hertz. The crown chakra is the final chakra and is located above the head. If you are someone who has a blocked crown chakra, then you are cynical, closed-minded, or have not worked through your first six chakras. The crown chakra represents a higher state of consciousness and spiritual enlightenment. Opening this chakra takes a lot of spiritual and mental awareness. Those who open their crown chakra will feel bliss and transcendence. And I've always said before, that holy number of seven. What if we, you know, going to heaven means reaching that seventh dimension? Maybe that seventh dimension is where God resides. We did that segment on these different dimensions and all of that. So if that is the case, that feeling of bliss and transcendence, I would think that that could be something that is relatable to heaven itself. I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think. But there is a history behind this. Let me see here. I can't remember who kind of created this system. So these frequencies are derived from the ancient solfège, I believe, system, a mnemonic used in music education to teach oral skills. Interesting. And here's some kind of slightly different kind of um, connections with what these frequencies do. So I forgot about this. I'm gonna wait till Kitty gets back to go into this. Real quick on the chat, Georgia said I should know I make music. I'm learning tonight. Never really put much thought into this. I feel like music helps the mind think, and some helps you relax. If that makes sense. Oh, dude, absolutely. And music can make you feel so much, dude. So many different emotions and feelings and thoughts and memories. It's fucking incredible, dude. Kitty, you're back. So this is what I was gonna say. So the solfeggio system originated in the 11th century with the music theorist Guido of Arezzo, who assigned syllables ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la to the first six notes of the major scale. Does it sound familiar to anybody yet?
yeah,
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do. The solfeggio frequencies are often associated with the ancient Gregorian chants, with proponents suggesting they were used by early Christian monks for spiritual practices and healings. Remember, like a lot of like monks and everything
interesting.
had those mantras. And what
Mm-hmm.
is a mantra? It's that. sound or that phrase or those words that you repeat over and over almost until you're like in like a trance-like state. And it's those repetitive words. It's like that's a form of manifesting by repeating that thought, making it so in your head by repeating it over and over and over again that it becomes like so, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that is really fucking interesting.
It
That
is.
connection between that. And you can already tell right there that, of course, that's where the rest of the notes came from and how they were altered, and I would say that the changing of that frequency is probably part of that.
Hmm.
Interesting fact too, I believe it is Denmark and even like I think a lot of European countries they actually have an H note,
Really?
which if I'm not mistaken, I believe what is that a G, what is it, yeah, it'd be a G sharp, I believe.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
I
So it
mean, we
comes
have
from
G sharp.
Renaissance music theory, where there was a distinction between the hard B or H in German or soft B H chord. That's what. Here we go. Was it just an H chord? Maybe it was just an H chord. I thought they had an H note as well.
Hmm.
Maybe it was just an H chord. Alright, here we go. In some countries like Germany, Russia, Poland, and Scandinavian countries, the note H is used to represent the natural B note, while the note B represents the B flat. This is a regional variation in musical notation, and the term H is specifically used to denote the natural B note. Okay, that's what it was.
Okay.
So, in that case, if B represents a B flat, so an A sharp would also be a B. See, that just seems confusing to me.
Right. It's almost like a half step. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
because what is it?
Huh.
There's no B sharp. It goes A sharp, which is also B flat, B, C,
Right.
C sharp, which is also D flat, so on and so forth. And then E, there's no E sharp. It goes directly E flat, E to F, and then F sharp,
Hmm.
so on and so forth.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that was a hell of a start, guys. I think so, anyway. Kitty, you wanna jump in and throw in some of your ideas here?
Absolutely. And y'all, of course, y'all know I'm a nerd. Y'all know I like to do research and whatever. But I've been kind of looking at the frequency thing for a bit. I did make a small, short little video. But I'm glad we're going into this more because I found out some more things. And these other things that I found out does not necessarily make it true. So, everybody who's watching this, use your own discernment. We're not telling you that this is completely correct or whatever, but I'm kind of finding it kind of all makes sense. And so I'm just going to dig into it. So, to answer the question, mainstream music usually uses 440 hertz. Okay. And 440 hertz, that is not what they used to go by. They used to go, I want to say it was 432 before that. And what happened is that the International Organization for Standardization standardized it as an international pitch standard. And they did this in 1939. And let's see here. There is also a tie with this, I guess, agency or whatever you want to say, and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds were involved in that institute, and they wanted to know about making sure that this was all standardized, you guys. They wanted to
Why
change it
though?
from 432 to 440. They wanted to make sure it was all standard. Why is it such a big deal? Like, I get it
Mm-hmm.
whenever you were in an orchestra, and or you're even in a swing band, because that was big at that time, the swing bands, right? And you're trying to match that frequency, that tone with each other, even though you're playing different instruments. Like, I kind of get that, but you could still figure it out manually. It's not really that difficult if you're a musician. I mean, you get it, you get it. So exactly what Stoner Man said. Why would the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds care? Why would they have their hands all dipped into that? Why? Why? Um, let's see here. Kind of want to go into as well. Um, so, what if I told you guys that the 440 hertz is actually a spiritual warfare? Now, there are certain artists out there that try not to play in 440 hertz at all because they do not believe it's a like the best frequency to play to a group of people. And one of them's Upchurch. He's actually mentioned before. I believe he does 432, doesn't he, babe?
He does. At his lives, and I believe in all of his albums too.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind, and I can go more so into the spiritual warfare of that. That gets kind of crazy, but I'm gonna kind of let you add in. I can tell you're looking up stuff right now, Stutterman.
I was just pulling this up for everyone to see here. So, first I want to answer to Georgia there. He said, my question is when you learn your lyrics and then you go to sing or rap or whatever it may be, you automatically remember. That's interesting to me. So I'm going to throw that back up on the screen here for everybody too. Um, are you meaning like how it can be so, like, come so natural to you? Because I get that with, like, a lot of my favorite songs, man. Like, I feel like the songs that mean the most to me, I learn the lyrics quicker. And it's almost like some of them, they're like ingrained in your brain and like you can pretty much never forget them. You know, they're meaningful enough. Um, I feel like if they're not meaningful enough, those will be the ones you kind of forget them and you know like oh shit I forgot that part I can't remember what comes next you know maybe because it really didn't mean all that much to you or the doesn't mean anything to you anymore kind of deal. Um, but yeah, 432. The significance in music and spirituality lies in its perceived harmony with natural frequencies and potential for relaxation and a spiritual connection. So, like, that makes sense with music because, you know, when the purpose of that music is to be spiritual and connect with people on a spiritual level, you know, you would want to do it in a frequency that could almost like you know on an old dial-up man that handshake they have to be able compatible they have to be able to connect and interweave to act and to do what they need to do.
Hmm.
So let's look up damaging effects of 440. And of course, guys, you know we're no scientists, man. We know these are some AI, you know, summaries of some of the topics we're looking up. But this is something we have researched a lot on. This is just kind of hitting the hot spots here for you. But you know, with everything we already say, do your own research, do your own um, you know, use your own mind, your own logic, your own common sense, your own experiences, even, and make your own judgment on any of these things, guys. Anything we talk about, anything you come across day to day or in your life, use your best judgment, use your own mind, do your research, that kind of deal. So the claim that is that 440 music has damaging effects. Some studies have shown that 432 music may have a slight calming effect on the heart rate compared to 440. A common argument against 440 is that it's deviation from the natural frequency of the Earth, and this misalignment can lead to anxiety or unease. Um, let's see. I do remember reading that too. So it can make people anxious, nervous, or even aggressive.
Very true.
Which,
And I have
which you
something to
gotta think
back.
that's something with a lot of music. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. No, 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 no. I was just going to add to your point. I thought you were finishing up there. But basically, I'm with this link also in the comments. But this article at sciencedirect.com, um, it basically says human DNA is so sensitive to music and the frequencies that human DNA can be reprogrammed through music, through the frequencies.
Oh yeah,
Subjecting the stem cells to various frequencies, it has been made possible to modify their natural organic function.
and like I don't know, man. I think the key to understanding like where we came from and like how and what the world was before all those you know stories, like those questions we have that just go so far back in time, like we're trying to find records of and books on, and so much has happened and erased and all that. I feel like it's all still accessible because it is within our DNA. And I believe that's another thing that they want to erase is like they want to erase in our DNA our memories, like our what was programmed in us from where we came from and all of that. Like they don't want us to ever be able to go back and learn that.
Right. Absolutely.
Because dude, I mean, how else are we ever gonna know what the true history was? But they say that memories can be recorded in water as well. What if the ocean itself could tell you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think.
And
What if the Atlanteans even did that? What if they recorded their history in some fashion like that?
right. And what do we shy away from? Ocean research.
Not only that, but think all the chemicals and shit that have been dumped into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. So you have this going back to pre-World War II days, you guys, and after World War II, everything it was just pretty much standardized 440 all the way across the board. And they didn't really have independent people back then. It was just either you were all mainstream, but until you made it basically, and made it. I mean, actually getting a contract. So
Yeah.
if that was always the goal, that was the way it worked then, and so that you have everybody going through and going and matching that frequency for 40, and it's being pushed and pushed. If you look at criminal records going back from the 30s to the 50s, you see a big increase. Now, granted, yes, there could be a lot of factors, and this isn't true statistics here. I know this, guys. There's more people, higher population. That's one factor. The second factor is, it was harder for them to keep track. They didn't really have this whole way that they track down and documented crimes like they do now. That could be another reason, but it's still interesting. Now, I'm going to go into unless you want to talk about this a little bit more, but I was going to go into something else that correlates with this.
Oh, you're good. Go for it.
Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Nephilim. What do you guys know about the Nephilim? I do not know much other than what is in the Bible. And in the Bible, I always picture them as giants, right? Like giants, because that's the way they're described. Now, if you go and actually read back through some Bible verses, they're giant light creatures. So it doesn't mean that they're always giants. Okay. Well, I came across a podcast the other day, and this is when I sent you Stoner Man. It was with the guest Gary Wayne
Oh yeah.
on there, and it was the Deep End. That's the name of the podcast channel. Anyway, so Gary Wayne is on there, and he has his own website, and I'm actually gonna click that. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the live chat here.
What's going on, Mike? Thanks for joining in, man.
Let's see. Getting out there. Hey, Mike, how you doing? All right, so he has his own website, and it's Genesis 6 Conspiracy. And he has also written several books, from my understanding, as well, on this whole thing. And the man is one hell of a researcher. He has spent most of his life studying the Bible, studying, not just the Bible, but ancient documents and everything else to try to, because everybody knows whenever you read the Bible, a lot of it's allegory. A lot of it doesn't always make sense, and these things that, people question, like the world was made in 7 days, he actually breaks that up into what, according to all the documents he has, where it actually makes sense. So he's going into all this, and he mentioned that the Nephilim are in control. Like, okay, let me ask this of the chat. Y'all think of who's in control out there that is a world agency, maybe even government? Put it in the comments. And they all have a similar ideas. They all have similar ideas. They want to lower the population. They are all about transhumanism, which again goes with depopulation. All right. They have similar goals. They're almost draconian, kind of like putting people on lockdown and having people, you have so many more rules, and you're just like, at this point, you're becoming a robot, right? So, whatever y'all got in the chat, I want to see it. You have anything to say right here, Stoner Man? I'm about to tie it all in together, aren't you?
Oh no, you're good. You're making good points.
All right. Okay. CI. Very good. That's one. Yes, absolutely. 12 point. If you, absolutely, and it does get lost in translation. A lot of that is another problem as well. So a lot of people from the Bible, some of it was written in Greek, and that could be misinterpreted whenever they're going and actually putting it in English. So that's 100%. And then it went from actually Greek to Latin. So you're translating it a couple of times. Snowman, whenever you can, could you put Mike 12 Points channel in the chat?
Yeah,
If y'all
for
haven't
sure.
subscribed to him, he is amazing. Y'all go check him out. All right, so tying this all in together, I'm watching this documentary. It's like freaking crazy, you guys. This whole show and everything else, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the comments as well. And I just got, I just totally got what is going on.
What happened? What happened?
What is going on?
What you got going on?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you,
Yeah.
Stoner Man.
What happened?
Can y'all hear me? Let me know in the chat. I'm sorry, you guys.
All right, guys.
Can y'all hear me? I know, right? They're watching us right now.
All right.
Okay,
Troubleshooting
I guess y'all can hear
with
me.
Kitty through the chat. Yeah, I can hear you. I don't think I'm gonna reset you here. The volume. Check your volume.
See, I can't hear you, Stoner Man.
Can you hear me
And I
now?
just checked it on the volume bar, on the taskbar. Okay, Mike says he can hear both of us loud and clear. For some reason, Stoner Man, I can't hear you. So I'm just going to keep talking. So, okay, all right. You go back to the Bible, and this man, he breaks it all up. I put that link in the comments. He actually, it's a two-part series, and he talks about the Nephilim are in control today. Other agencies, the WHO, the WHO, the WEF, they're all about those draconian rules and depopulating, like getting the population to go down. They're all about control and everything else. So he's talking about that. So, okay, all right, we're getting ready to do this episode. We knew we were going to do it about frequency and music. And sure enough, the same podcast had somebody else on there. And I believe a lot of you guys follow this lady, Laura Singer. And her handle on IG is Laura Singer 444. Not 440, 444, as in 444 hertz. All right. And Deep End has her on, and she is talking about there is a spiritual warfare going on right now, and they are using music to do it. They started it way back whenever they decided to make 440 the standardized pitch. And who had their hands in that? The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Again, I mean, we talk about agencies, but according to her, it's actually Nephilim bloodlines. It's Nephilim bloodlines, you guys. Anyway, but that is where that is at. I would like to get into this more, but because I cannot hear Stoner Man, I am going to leave real quick and be right back.
All right. Always troubleshooting. Don't know why, but man, Restream is crap. But I know it's cheaper than StreamYard, but we're looking at changing this. Sorry about all the problems we always got, guys. But yes, see, George Redneck here. Controls also in your mind because they let people get in their head and they control them like a puppet. Dude, absolutely, man. All right. Let's get Death Kitty back in here, see if we got audio fixed.
I
Kitty,
can hear
you
you
hear me?
loud and clear. I can hear you now.
Sweet. We got
They
it
were
fixed,
messing
guys.
with us, dude. They were messing with us. I'm telling you, I haven't done anything on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so according
I was gonna finish off here. So George just said control is also in your mind because they let people get in their head and they control them like a puppet. Man,
Absolutely.
everything. If you ever watched the South Park, it was like a whole season, man. But they're like, I don't want to go into it if you haven't seen it, man, ruin it. But basically, that the ads, like everyone's an ad, and the ads control everything. It's kind of that whole, I forgot, was it the dead internet theory? Was that what it was called, Kitty?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, where the internet doesn't exist anymore. It's just like some all like an AI
Mm,
like created environment to match like your personal preferences and your views and your clicks and your history and all of that. Like just like all your information's being sold and tracked through cookies and your browsing history and why when you like talk or even just think about something like hey, I need to look at new tires for my truck, and you're just thinking about it, and you pull up your phone, there's an ad, new tires, blah, 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 blah. What the fuck?
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And think about not just that, but think about also the chip that, everybody's so excited to get to put in their head.
Dude, I don't, um, I support Elon in a lot of things, man, but I'm just ain't cool with that Neuralink, man.
Hmm.
I mean, I get, dude, don't get me wrong, I'd be badass to do some Matrix shit where you could just like plug in and download entire like skill set into your brain and just know it. Like, don't get me wrong, that would be cool as shit. But
Right.
dude, I want to know the ins and outs of the security system on that chip, and
Hmm.
the backdoors and the weaknesses it has and what it's sensitive to. Is there going to be certain signals that are going to interfere with this thing and cause it to like take control of my brain? What exactly will it be able to do with my brain? There's a lot of things that we need a lot of deep answers for to really discern is this a good idea or not. But that's just
Right.
me.
Absolutely. So with this stuff, I'm going to back it up again to the episode with Gary Wayne. And like I said, the man, y'all just got to check it out. It's just insane. But he goes in deeper with the Nephilim, and he talks about them pre-flood, during the flood, and after the flood. And he said that they survived even after the flood. There were some of them that survived. Um, and like what we're going through today is kind of similar up to that timeline, even though it was a different time, if that makes sense to you guys. And it's like they're doing the same tricks that they were then, that they're doing now. Now, fast forward to this other podcast, which, by the way, Laura Singer, she also has a new book out. That book is about Jekyll Island. And if anybody know about Jekyll Island, real quick, Titanic and Jekyll Island. Anyway, she has a new book out. I'm gonna try to find that and put that in the comments as well. But Jekyll Island is a place where all of these prominent elite men would meet. And it's like a meeting, then they go over like things that they kind of wanted to do and had a plan for the country and everything else, right? Well, one of these last meetings before the Titanic sank, not everybody was there, um, including a couple of people that basically what it is, Jekyll Island, it was basically a plan to have the Titanic sink. And you had at least 3 to 4 very prominent elite men that were anti Federal Reserve money, that were not okay with it, wouldn't back it, wouldn't agree with the rest of them, that were killed on the Titanic. And what she goes into, I haven't read the book yet, but I want to say what she goes into, though, that these are bloodlines of the Nephilim. These people, it's all bloodlines. Okay. And then you look at the WEF, WHO, they're all like, it's like all these presidents, all these people in royalty, everything else, they're all related cousins, fourth, fifth cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever. Like, look at Christy Turlington and Obama. They're like third or fourth cousins. I mean, it's the same thing.
And
So,
oh, I was gonna jump in and say something real quick, Kitty. And like we were talking about with Hollywood, there was that post we saw talking about how the reason Hollywood shows you so much of what they are doing and like the plan and all this and have been for so long. It's not just like a haha in your face kind of deal. It's also about that getting your permission, getting you to
yeah,
accept that and to help almost manifest that and gain that permission before they
absolutely.
can execute that plan. And with the
Absolutely.
Titanic, like, dude, think what's the first thought in most people's heads when you say Titanic? Fucking
Um,
DiCaprio in the movie and
iceberg.
love story. Well, no, I'm saying like with the movie. Like they think the
Yeah.
movie, they think love story, they think DiCaprio, Hollywood star. It's almost
Mhm.
like they were trying to get that permission of, hey, this is the real story. It was all love
Mhm.
story. It wasn't anything greater than that.
Right.
Do you guys see what I mean?
hmm So I just find it very interesting that at Jekyll Island, again, you have all these prominent men, except for the men who were going to be on the Titanic the following week.
Yeah.
And then the Titanic sinks, and all of the prominent men on that ship died. The ones who didn't agree with this Federal Reserve stuff with the money that they wanted to do. And that was
Yeah.
like right around World War One or before World War One or something. Yeah, it's insane. But fast forwarding it back again to this episode with Laura Singer, she mentions that spiritual warfare, and like you said, they have to tell you, right? She
Yeah.
agrees with that. She says actually there are rules like contracts and stuff like that, and I could go into this more. There's a whole thing with spiritual contact contracts and everything else.
Oh yeah.
If you go into the Bible, like you could actually see that there are things to that. Anyway, she says that the Nephilim can't go right out and do that. Even their bloodline, they can't go right out and just do whatever they want because that's going to make things speed up in the timeline. And some of them are trying to do that. They're trying to get the timeline to speed up because they think they'll have a different result if they speed it up. They want Jesus to come back because they think if they speed it up enough, that they will change the timeline by doing so.
Ragnarok. That show Ragnarok, if anyone hasn't watched
Yes,
that, I think it was on Netflix.
that's
Dude,
what I
they
thought of too.
they actually kind of go into that a little bit, man. And
But
dude,
I
it is
was,
a really dry show starting off, man. But anybody who watches all the way through, I did feel like the very last episode was disappointing. But the story and kind of take on it, and kind of a more, I guess you would say, actualized version of the story of Ragnarok. It's really interesting, man. And I don't believe any like that to be 100% true, but there are certain parts that I'm like that makes a lot of fucking sense. So definitely worth a watch, guys.
so Georgia is in the chat and he lives close to Jekyll Island and he said that's actually not how that happened. Um, I know that there have been movies and books and things of that nature made before, documentaries, everything else. If you have a different thing here that you would like to add, please let us know because you know
Oh
what?
yeah,
I would rather have, factual information, than not. But I will tell you, this kind of personally hit home because, well, not really, but like my grandma dated, one of the men that survived on that ship. The wife, his mom was pregnant with him. It was one of those elite guys. The father died.
yeah,
So I always had an interest in the Titanic and everything else because, I mean, that poor dude. you know, just what he went through coming into this world is just crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Georgia, please put it in the chat. I would love to hear about it. So, what were you just talking about before? They have to give you permission, right? They have to give
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
permission. They have to give you permission. It's a contract, and they have to. What they're trying to do is they're trying to turn humanity like little puppets to get them to do these things and say these things and curse God and be angry with God and sin against God and everything else, right? Again, these are things that Laura Sanger goes into, and she goes into more of the actual spiritual part of this. Um, but absolutely. So there's so much history on Jekyll Island. Have to be on the live because I know a lot about Jekyll. Heck yeah. I would love to hear about that. Um, let's see. Now, going forward, she talks about that. And she also talks about what do y'all know about the ley lines all throughout the world, or even at least in the United States. So, according to her, ley lines, I mean, there's one right there in Nashville, I believe. I sent you a picture if you want to bring that up, Stutterman. I sent it to your IG.
Gotcha. And dude, I really believe that the ley lines are not just here on Earth. Like, I believe they almost point. It's almost like a conduit, man. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
a connector at the end, and depending on how those planets align, because there's so much behind planetary alignment too, that
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like if you turn in the ley line, the two ends of the ley lines on two planets, are pointing together, it almost creates like a connection. And maybe by completing the parts of these ley lines, that can make certain things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So the ley lines, she talks about it. She actually says that it's revealed to her because she's big into prayer and everything else, right? And it's revealed to her that this is where the Nephilim y- purposely use these ley lines. The 33rd degree, I believe that was the one, right, babe? With that was close to where President Kennedy was shot. They will use it for a lot of negative things. Now it could be used for positive things. And her whole thing with this, the 444 hertz, that frequency, everything, her stuff is more spiritual. So she comes at this with a more spiritual aspect. Okay, so then again, when she's talking about the ley line, she's also talking about like, hey, they can also be used for good. And whenever she talked about it, she opened up the conversation and she's like, yeah, I'm driving through Nashville and I see exit 440 and that one goes straight to the Parthenon. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's crazy. Mainstream for 40 hertz. They're telling you right there. It's just fascinating. But the thing with the 444 hertz, um, it's believed that it's supposed to facilitate emotional healing and release. And this is why she is very big into gospel music and worshiping the Lord. Okay, so these are things that she was going into with this episode. But it's fascinating. You guys should check it out. She does believe, like a lot of us believe, that we're at war. How you look at it, whichever way you look at it, whatever, um, whether it is good versus evil, whether it's, you know, us versus Nephilim, you know, whether it is, there's definitely something going on. And it's been going on for a long time. And it's been going on longer than we've been alive. It's been going on since the beginning of time. And community, no matter what, other people want to control humanity. They want to control the masses. And here's another interesting she said about the Nephilim. The Nephilim have gotten to the point in society today where they control all of your senses. They control your sight and what you see. So think about these Hollywood movies. I'm over here talking about this, and George is like, "Hey, those movies, those aren't correct." There you go. That's one example right there. What you're hearing, music, what you taste. All the food right now is not real. You go to the grocery store, it's not real food. It doesn't even taste real anymore.
I mean, look at
Oh
look
no,
at
it's doing it
the
again. Are you talking?
yeah.
I'll be back.
Gotcha. But yeah, guys. No, I mean, even like the like plants. You can play music for plants, and they react differently to like different types of music, different moods and genres, and everything of music. Katie, do you copy me? Katie, you there? All right. Not sure what's going on. But yeah, I mean, like, and even in that video that Kitty is referring to, the crazy thing is they were talking about a study where they were freezing water, but they were taping words like to the bottles before they froze the water, and depending on like what words were taped to which bottle. Kitty, you copy me now? Kitty,
I still can't hear you, Stoner Man.
did you check your headphones and your volume?
I've checked the browser. I haven't touched anything. It's all the same.
Huh? What
I
is
don't know how
going
long
on?
you've been talking, but I noticed it a minute ago. That's why I keep on leaving and coming back.
Yeah,
The Nephilim know they're messing with us.
totally. All right, let's see if we can get it back here, guys. All right, Kitty. Um, what is going on? All right, she can't hear me.
All right. While Stoner Man is trying to get that part figured out on the sound, hopefully y'all can hear us both. We just can't hear each other. We're in separate rooms. We do that on purpose for sound quality on the podcast. But anyway, so a couple interesting things about we already went over 444, which is why Laura Singer's very into 444. A lot of other people are more so into 432. And it's actually been recorded in historic documents that people actually see a light at the crescendo whenever it's turned to 432 when they're listening to it. And another interesting thing to think about it with the 432 is if you know, 432 squared, that number is the speed of light. So those couple things are fascinating. So what you got there, Stoner Man, that is the second photo that I sent you. I believe that's the 33rd degree. That shows you right there, the 33-degree parallel. That shows you right there. That's over close by where Kennedy was shot. Um, like Singer said, uh, belay lines can be used positively and negatively, and the Nephilim are trying to use it negatively, basically. And I still cannot hear anything from me, a Stoner Man. So just a heads up.
Oh, you're
Maybe we
good.
could go sometime ago, Jiggalin. Maybe so. There's just so much stuff out on that island, and there are so many there are numerous accounts of where these men were and everything else, and it was like a couple weeks before, a week before the Titanic sank. So, like, I have a hard time believing that that meeting did not happen. Do we know for sure what happened with that meeting? No, but it's always speculation because the other guys that weren't there that usually show up to these meetings ended up all being unalived on the Titanic. So, what's up, Carter? How you doing?
What's up, Carter? How you doing, man?
We're dealing with issues.
Yeah, Kitty can't hear me. I can hear her, but y'all can hear us. I don't know what's going on, man. Carry on. Carry on, Kitty. You had the floor. You can't read lips. Alright, we're gonna do, like, air traffic controller signals. You have the floor.
If you're talking to me, I cannot hear you, babe.
I know. I'm trying to do the air traffic controller, like.
You want me to exit? You want me to leave? What? What you want? I have the floor, but I've been talking about the floor. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, then I'll go. I'll
Okay.
go. It's good. No,
Oh, hush.
You're good. No,
Hush.
no. It's good. I'll take over for.
Okay,
Missy.
y'all
You
have
can-
any
you can
questions
break.
about any of this stuff, you guys?
You.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. You're fine. You can take a break. I don't know why I keep talking. I know she
I
can't hear me.
can't
I keep
understand
talking.
you. I will keep talking, but you keep talking, so I'm like, okay, I'll take over the floor, but you keep talking. What do you want? Tell me what you want.
I can't. I can't. You can't hear me. You can't hear me. There we go.
Okay, I will carry on.
Carry on
I
my
got you.
wayward son.
Okay, all right. Another thing that Singer speaks about in this podcast of the Deep End, she ends up bringing up, I believe it's I don't know if this is how you pronounce it, but Masaru Emoto. They're messing with our internet. Oh, yes. Oh, that's another thing she goes into. She goes into AI with the Nephilim and how they are using AI and they're using internet. This is how they do stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yep.
bro. I know we do need walkie talkies for whenever they do this. Actually, totally. I'm so old school, I would totally do it. All right, so going back to this water bottle experiment, and I'm going to try to slow this down a little bit because I know that Stoner Man was really digging this and he really kind of wanted to talk about this more so because he has done music, he's written, he's done things. So I'm just going to go over this, try to slow it down till he comes back, but the water bottle experiment, not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Masaru Emoto, explores the idea that water's molecular structure can be altered by different environmental stimuli. So, particularly words and thoughts. Positive words and thoughts, like, were said to induce beautiful symmetrical crystal formations. And whenever the water got frozen. Now, in the meantime, if you put negative words and thoughts like hate or anger, it resulted in less aesthetically pleasing or ugly, irregular looking crystals when the water was frozen. Now, these were just words that were written and taped on a water bottle. These were not even words that were even spoken. So I'm going to let Stoner Man get into this, but
I don't even know what we're talking about. I was gone for a
well,
second.
you were talking about it earlier.
Holy shit, you can hear me?
I don't understand what you're saying. Lyrics, keyword.
Can you
We were
hear
talking about the
me?
water bottle.
Can you hear me?
You want to take the floor?
How
I
did you
still
know
can't
what
hear
I
you.
was saying if you can't hear me? Alright, hold on. I don't know what we're talking about, guys. I had to leave and then I popped in, so I'm lost what we're talking about. Kitty, can you hear me now? Alright, we're gonna try this again. Hold on, guys. Alright. Troubleshooting with
All
Kitty.
right.
Troubleshooting with Kitty. She's gonna reset her browser real quick.
I did that already. I did close my browser and get back in, but I will do that again.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do it a couple times. Just get it to refresh. Um. Alright, still troubleshooting, guys. Alright, so like I said, I don't know, not sure what we're talking about, so I will try to, Carter says, there's a guy I watch all the time that lives here in Missouri named Dutchins. Named Dutchins. He does the earthquake stuff. He's had to change his carrier like 5 to 6 times. Wow. That is not surprising. Man, that's the thing too is, you know, like if we're not onto something with the things that we talk about and bring up, and whether it's, you know, these bloodline families, or, you know, just things with like the frequencies and what they're trying to do with the music to us and all of that, and just the manipulation. If we were not on to anything, why would they want to silence us so bad, is my thought. You know, I don't know everything, and, you know, I'm not a scientist in, I'm not an expert in a lot of these areas, that topics that we discuss and talk about, but I do know that if somebody wants to silence you that damn bad, typically there's a reason. Kid, you got me on audio?
Still cannot hear you. I see your mouth
What?
moving, but that's it.
What is going on?
Before you ask me, I did clear out my cookies and all that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What is going? Can you hear me? What the hell? Fucking YouTube, fucking restream, fucking bastards. Alright, what else can we try to fix this?
Doing something really weird with my camera too. Anyway,
Yeah, I noticed that.
whatever. Well,
Kitty, we'll just communicate by text or something here. We're
all right.
communicating, we're communicating.
This is really weird because they can hear both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on. Well, I mean, I'm ready for you to jump in. I was talking about the
Okay.
water bottle thing, and
Yeah. So yeah, just, here. Text me if you want to jump in. Alright. What's up, Tars girl? Thanks for joining in. Update. I can hear Kitty. Kitty cannot hear me, but y'all can hear all of us. So don't know what the fuck is going on. But just so you're not really confused why there's some awkward silences going on. But yeah, about the water bottles, just it's one thing for the sound to affect things in, like, oh, that was the thing, the ice crystals, the way the ice crystal form, when there's like positive words like love and things like that, compassion, the ice crystals form like these beautiful patterns. But when there's like more aggressive words like hate or something like that, or sorrow, they'll make more erratic, crazy like formations in the ice crystals. It's weird because you think, okay, well, the frequencies make sense because everything, the whole world vibrates at the lowest level, but just the writing of the words on a piece of paper. And you gotta think, I mean, say like using the alphabet, the English language, you know, like how does it discern, and how does the water itself know to read English over Spanish or French or whatever? Like, okay, well, it's obviously not reading the word like we would with our eyes, and processing the shapes and symbols into fucking, thoughts and ideas and meanings, but it's almost just picking up on the intention of the word without even being able to understand. So, what if it's not the intention of the word so much, but the intention that you put into it when you are writing that word? Even if you're not a hateful person, when you are writing the word hate, you know the meaning of it. So therefore, you are transferring almost like your understanding of that word into that word you're writing, and it's almost inside that piece of paper, not the word itself, but the intent is in that paper, and the water is feeling that, or picking up vibrations from that intention that you instilled in that object. Like, this is a whole level, to me, crazier and beyond just the frequencies. But there's all kinds of stuff, man, that we don't understand, we don't know. But just with just these little hints and the speculation that we can form from, like, um hold on, let me message Kitty real quick. But just, the speculations that we can, form from this little bit of information, these studies and all of that, it's like, if this is true, then what could they be doing with music? How can you say that there's not somebody out there who does want to either control you or change your behavior? I mean, we're talking about the chakra that affects, causes people, if it's blocked, to be aggressive. How aggressive has music made a lot of people? And I'm not saying, oh, metal music is aggressive, stay away from it. I love metal music. I'm a metalhead. That's my go-to in music. Um, but it doesn't have to be like a harmful or negative aggression. I mean, it can be like aggression in like a passionate form. Like, yeah, I love my country and I'm gonna defend her, and I'm not a violent man, but I will, take action, whatever I have to do to defend this country. That can be, aggression's the wrong word. It could be rapidly stimulating, I guess you could say, like adrenaline pumping music. It doesn't have to be aggressive, but um, it's all the intent that you put into it, man. And I've seen some metal albums come back that, like, metal albums come out that they're just demonic album covers. And, I feel like that's existed in metal for a while, and a lot of good metal bands have gotten damned because of that association. Taurus asked, could your energy be passed on too? I believe so. I believe that you can pass your energy on to people by touch, even like shaking a hand. you know, you can feel energy from people when you shake their hand, and I believe that's one thing is um, that's one thing that I believe is so important about a handshake is it's reading something about that person, and especially the eye contact. That window to the soul. You're being able to read their eyes, read their body language, and feel that energy from them. Kitty's having trouble. Everything's messing with us tonight, guys. What the hell? But I'm very big on handshakes, and you know, I've actually, when it comes to like even an interview, like interviewing somebody for a job, that is my initial kind of sets the initial tone, man, is that handshake, and really, like for me, that initial handshake finalizes the whole deal, man. You know, it's like you're showing me right now with that weak, limp little handshake that you have no integrity, you have no confidence, you have no, you know, I guess you could say gumption, and it's just Carter said that's why shady people don't like making eye contact, absolutely, and why liars don't look you in the eye because they know that you'll read that you'll see that little shimmer, man. Always handshake. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. I actually had one kid, man. I was doing the repair for him, and he comes into the shop, and I go out to shake his hand, and he starts doing some bro handshake shit, man. I'm just looking at him like, dude, that's not how you come into a business. I don't know you. We've never talked before, other than just over the phone, strict business. Why are we doing a bro handshake, man? Like, no, man, shake my hand like a man. We're conducting business here. This is a business transaction. I'm performing a service. You're a customer. Like, I don't know, man. It just rubbed me really fucking wrong. All right, guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna try to help Kitty. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, had to replace the keyboard. Fun shit, right? We are back. We're back. We don't do gang shakes around here. Hell no, man. Like that's something you do with like, your fucking buddy, and you all like actually like hang out and shit, and yeah, not doing business. But I mean, dude, I won't even pay somebody with a weak handshake, man. Like no, no, man, because that already tells me like how you're going to conduct your business, how you're going to treat me as a customer, and I'm like, nope, I'm out. But back to the music, with the whole artist they use for 432 over 440, I do notice a difference, man. And there's a lot of music I don't listen to anymore because I've learned to recognize and I feel that negativity. I mean, I've always felt it because I know it has affected me. It did affect me. And I don't. I've learned to recognize it, and I don't subject myself to that shit anymore. Kitty, can you copy me? Still nothing, huh?
I still can't hear you if you're talking.
All right, Kitty's gonna take over. I'm gonna restart. But yeah, guys. Anybody ever listen to Tool? They got a lot of
Right.
sacred
I
math
am
in there,
really
man.
not sure where to take over at.
Let me fill Kitty in real quick. All right, guys. I'm gonna restart. Kitty's got it from here. Be right back.
Okay. Talking about frequencies and music you don't listen to anymore. Um, I'm kind of the same way. I will tell you from a very young age, I do believe I was there more so, not necessarily with frequencies. That's kind of more of a last 5+ years, maybe if that, thing for me. But I will tell you from a very young age, lyrics. That was my main thing. Um, so if if I had if I was listening to a song, I liked it because it was catchy and I liked, the music, like the beat and the instruments and whatever. At a very young age, probably by the time I was probably in high school, I started listening to lyrics or reading lyrics, and I'm like, okay, if this girl's just talking about her dude, that her old man that always cheats on her all the time and everything else, and why am I going to listen to a song like that? Because it's like it gets stuck in your head, and then before you know it, you can manifest it yourself just because you like the beat of the song, you know, and you play it, you know. And if you're anything like me, any of your music that you have, it's all your favorite music. I mean, you just like put it on shuffle and there you go. So I don't know about y'all, but let me know what y'all think about that. There's a big thing to lyrics. It's a big thing to manifestation. There's a big thing to all of it. Like the story that Upchurch had of this girl talking about y'all are all under a spell from your favorite artists. I truly believe in that. Um, I'm going to catch up a little bit on the comments. Let's see here. So, Georgia says, feel like people lost respect for others. They're not being taught to shake hands anymore. That is correct. Let's see here. Taurus. By the way, if you do not hear me, Taurus, say Taurus girl. I hope you're doing well. Um, she says, unfortunately, those types of qualities are instilled or passed on to the younger generation anymore. 100%. Um, but yeah, no. So I was big into what I was listening to even at a younger age, just from the lyrics. Like what was that song? I think it was by Pink, and it was coming on the radio. It was like what, 10+ years ago, and my kids were little then, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we know some other people that love this song," and I'm like, "Why?" Like, "Oh, we're all gonna fight. We're gonna be at the bar. We're all gonna fight. This man, this woman, her old man, are going to a bar. They're all just gonna be fighting." I mean, if you got to fight, then you got to do what you got to do. But why is there a song about that? I straight out told my kids, they were little at the time. I was like, sounds like people who like drama, you know. Um, Stonerman says, does anyone remember the elbow during a handshake, as in a formal setting? Mm, yep. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Georgia says, I'm getting with y'all about it, but we could do a live talking about Jekyll Island because I could tell so many stories. We'd love to hear those stories. Absolutely. I will say that there was a meeting. I know for sure there was a meeting. Like, there was a meeting. And it just so happened to be the people that were not on, that were not on the Titanic were at that meeting. And the guys that who were on the Titanic, who usually you all used to go to Jekyll Island to meet, they passed on the Titanic. But I would still love to hear those stories. I think that would be amazing. Let us know in the chat if y'all want to hear more about Jekyll Island. The Federal Reserve, can't talk, Federal Reserve. The beginning of all that nonsense. You guys have any questions about what we talked about tonight? This has been such a weird night, you guys. I guess Stonerman's like, I don't know if he's still trying to work on it. But, so what is the best, I don't know, of all this information that's come out and everything else, about anything, I'm just going to make it very general. What is the best, you think, part of information that's come out that you feel like really hits home? It could be anything from like the CIA files release. It could be anything like you hear people talking about old historical documents that they found with different things that just kind of hit home with you. That like had a gut feeling like I don't know what it is, but there's something about that. Med beds. Yes. Carter, absolutely. Med beds. That is amazing. I cannot wait until every American can have them in their home, to be honest. That would be amazing. I look forward to the day, like, seeing people, especially babies, but adults too, not like having to fight cancer, you know. But absolutely, 100%.
Can you hear me, Kay?
Still cannot hear you.
What in the hell is going on, guys? This is some bullshit. I don't understand why I can hear you and you can't hear me.
Well, this is awkward, chat.
I know, right? What the fuck? Well, shit. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. How are we going to resolve this? Oh, I got an idea.
So I'm gonna talk about real quick. Kerr mentions people are finally starting to get arrested. Yes, and I am very happy about that. You want me to do this on my phone?
Yeah, see if you can jump in on there.
Okay.
Alright, guys. Give us a second. We're going to see if we can get Kitty hooked up here. I'm guessing it's got to be on your end because I can hear you. Well, no. I don't fucking know. Huh. Anyway, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about, guys. I was trying to listen in, but so much shit going on. But yeah, if has anyone watched our video we did a little while back about the secret meeting that changed hip hop forever? Because man, I really think that was another milestone in the greater plan to control music and to take these effects on people and everything. And there was that noticeable difference in like the music itself and even how people who listened to that music acted and reacted, and there was a lot more violence, man. I mean, you know, look back at music before, there was never that level of violence like there is now. And, now we have music talking about how cool it is to, fucking sell drugs and shit. And, you know, I mean, dude, I've known some people, man, that they sit there and they just listen to that shit and, fucking sling drugs all day, man. It's like, is that music reinforcing that behavior with them? If they could cut that music out, would they be able to have some sort of drive to no longer want to be dealers and shit? If that makes sense. Kitty, can you copy me now? I don't think her Wi-Fi
I
is
can hear you.
on. Yeah, we are having problems today, man. We are having problems. Carter, we are on Restream. Katie, can you hear me? You can hear me? I can't hear you. Is
Can't
your
hear me?
mic on? Now I can. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is your Wi-Fi on?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, fuck. We're back in action. Cool. But no, I was kind of going into how I felt this tied into like our that video we did about the secret meeting and that noticeable difference in like how people like acted and the increase in like violence within the music and the listeners and
Oh, no.
like if a dealer and an abuser stopped listening to that music while they did what they did, would they no long like would they have some sort of like drive or almost fighting chance to break away from that lifestyle if they weren't having that reinforced mentally by the music?
Right. Uh, there is a big correlation. It was pretty bad, like the way we did it because it was our but that video will go on.
Your audio's rough, Kitty. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, try that again. What were you saying?
I was just our video because it was our first video that we did together. And basically it's if you do watch it, it's a video that will definitely hit you in your gut and just it'll make you hate mainstream even more.
But yeah, and Carter, yeah, brainwashing and devillainizing drugs at the same time. And I even believe, that's what's going on with a lot of movies nowadays too, is, like even Suicide Squad, I kinda saw that was why are we making a movie kind of glorifying the bad guys, And even with the whole Batman versus Superman, like, don't get me wrong, I thought the fight scenes were fucking pretty badass, man. But to make Batman like this guy who's like just finally gone off the deep end and doesn't have like a conscience anymore, or like have that moral code of, no killing and all that, like why are we trying to perpetuate that image and that thought of a superhero? You know, even though he wasn't really super, he was a hero. But still, why are we doing that?
The whole thing is good.
The whole what?
You know,
The whole, the whole what, Kitty?
it's that whole thing of making everything ass back, like bad is good, good is bad.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And, like we talked about earlier, it's they're needing that permission. That permission to damn the good guy.
So, like I said, according to just failing control, they cannot reproduce what they do. Um, or else pretty much down on them right then. So this is why they get huge.
I can't hear you. We're getting bad audio. Well, fuck, guys, we tried. We tried. Well, YouTube, Restream, the Illuminati, all you guys, just want to let you know how I felt. So, nobody can flag our video because I'm just scratching my eye, man. Itches. The damn allergies. Anyway, I still don't know what you said. Kitty sends her loves, everybody. Kitty sends her love. Alright, guys. Well, hell, fuck. We're at 2 hours already anyway. Holy shit. I definitely feel like we could make this a part two. Um, but yeah, guys. There's a lot of belief into this. Um, like I said, there are some mainstream bands that I feel like are good people and have good messages, good vibrations, all of that. No, we're not talking about the Beach Boys. But yeah, you know, mainstream. It's okay to listen to some mainstream music, man. There's some good music out there. Music that's inspired a lot of great independent artists, and they were talented and really had good shit that they put out. So no hate towards the real artists out there. It's just towards the puppet masters, the labels, the evil out there. To all the artists that have succumbed and sold out and sold their soul and all that, you're the ones that we talk shit about because you are shit. You know, when you have these evil messages and this demonic imagery and you're attending certain things that you should not be attending, you're shit. Plain and simple. But yeah, no, like I said, certain ones are great. I do enjoy them. You know, especially a lot of metal bands out there, man. To the ones who weren't into all the upside down fucking pentagrams and shit and all that crazy crap, and we're talking like the real like death metal and like what's another one, like the doom metal and shit like that. By the way, there's a fuck ton of subgenres in metal. I don't think there's any genre that has as many subgenres as metal. It is fucking crazy. Like that mathcore shit. Oh, that's just too extreme for me. Gent. I I really don't like gent. I don't like doom metal. Some sludge is okay. I do like some sludge, but I feel like a lot of that had a lot of like demonic messaging like in it as well. So I don't get down with a whole lot of that shit. But one of my favorites is Trivium. Of course, greats Pantera, Mudvayne. I feel like Mudvayne had a very big, fuck you attitude towards the system. That's one thing I respect about him. To this day, from what I've seen, Chad Gray is still a fuck you system. Fuck you, Big Brother. Fuck you, Control. All that, man. Aaron Lewis, people like that, man. Anybody, too, if they ever want to look back at some of the Aaron Lewis's posts from when they were doing the, I believe it was the self-titled album, their last album. What was that, before they went on their like hiatus or whatever? But I think that was their last album under contract. That you see in Aaron's eyes, like, just like his soul being drained, man. Like they are just sucking his soul dry. And I feel like that kind of set the tone for me that look what the industry does and can do. Look at what they do to people, man. And this applies to anyone in the show business, music, movies, TV, whatever. That's what they do, man. You know, I know a lot of people say, well, this young star, look at them, the money went to their head, now they're all on drugs, and he's on drugs, that kind of shit. Like, but what if it's not always drugs that some of these people, on the TMZ and shit that you see in the tabloids, what if it's not drugs? What if that's what the industry is doing to them? And that is what they're blaming it on. And even some of these people would come out and say, yeah, these addictions were just them covering because they knew they couldn't come right out and say, yeah, my boss, the one who owns everything I fucking do, won't let me tell you that it was them that did this to me. So yeah, I have an addiction. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone, but what if some of those are? That's my fault, but anyway, well, guys, I think we're gonna end this. Oh, go ahead, Kitty.
Okay, can you hear me if I speak slowly?
Try it slow.
Okay. One more thing I'm going to go with about this Nephilim bit. Gary Wayne, who was on the Deep End podcast, the first link I put on here, End podcast, he mentions that King Charles, mentions about how he is related to that's
He's related to who?
Yvonne the Terrible. That's one of his ancestors. And this is what I'm talking about. He has done not just history research, biblical, but also, and you go back to Yvonne the Terrible. Dracula was based upon, correct?
Yeah, Dracula was based upon him, is that what you said?
Upon Yvonne, yeah.
Yeah, slow it down just a little bit more.
Okay. So, that's where the term of the draconian rule comes. Because he was actually a Draco.
He was actually what?
Draco. That was somewhere.
Are you talking about like the reptilian Draco?
No, talking about that was within his.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And the coats
Slow it down.
that are on your family or other lineage going back, a lot of them were serpents. This
a lot of them were what?
Of serpents.
Yeah.
And this also meant that they were part of that Draco line. And a lot, not all, but a lot that now are in power.
Huh. Interesting. You might have to do a short on something on that because that audio was really cracking up. I'm so sorry, guys, but yep, Illuminati's on to us. Oh shit. Oh shit. Gotta sleep with that 5.56. Always loaded. Optic rocking that night scope. But yeah, guys. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us, man. Like I said, we can go on this topic for a while. Think we might even do a part two at some point, man, because this is definitely interesting. But yeah, just you know, listen to what you listen to. That makes sense. Listen to how it makes you feel. Anybody watching this, I know a lot of you guys watching are kind of the same mindset, but anybody new watching this, coming across this, just think about how that music makes you feel, man. I know a lot of this new pop shit on the radio, that KJ 103 bullshit is like, everyone's like, oh, this is so happy. This song makes me feel so good. Does it though? Really listen, man. Try to do some meditation. Once you learn how to meditate, go back and listen to that. Does that still make you feel good? But dude, honestly, I can tell a lot of the shit when I hear like the radio playing in the store or whatever. I can hear like it's upbeat and it's supposed to be a happy sounding song, but it doesn't make me feel like happy. Like it makes me feel just like cringe. Like I need to put something good on, dude. But it doesn't make me feel upbeat. It doesn't make me feel fucking happy. But yeah, listen to what you listen to. But anyway, sorry about the audio problems, guys. But yeah, thank y'all for joining in, man. If anybody has anything to add to this, please drop it in the comments, man. Always love more material for the next one. So, but yeah, guys, thank y'all so much for joining in. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Y'all stay safe. Get some time with the fam. All that good stuff. It's so clinical. Hey, Taurus, that's awesome, man. We just try to give just some good vibes out there, man. Good energy, talk about some shit, and just spread that agape. We're all about that, man. And she also said meaningless. You're referring to the no trespassing. Hell yeah. I don't like offices. Offices, two words in it. Off and ice. But thank y'all so much for watching. Once again, have a great weekend, guys. I hope your week is awesome as well. Catch y'all in the next one.